So here it is. I have my fleet of helicopters here. Today I'm going to cover my Mcpx now that I've put some serious time and mods into it and tried out different things and different companies to make it the best it can be. Here's my stock Mcpx. I just threw a 120 SR tail motor on it. I find that that's just like a given thing you need to do to all your Mcpx's. Other than that, it's completely stock. I do have a 550 milliamp battery in both of them. That just helps run the larger tail motor, gives it more flight time. Other than that, this is full stock. I just use this to practice CP moves and stuff, risky stuff. For whenever I finally master it, I can put it on this helicopter. Anyways, this is my Mcpx, if that's what you still want to call it. I have the MIA skids on it. I find that those are the best skids. They are pretty much crash proof. They do pose a problem when mounting on your Microheli frame. This isn't X-frame, it's the frame that came out right before the X-frame. I have only found the use for the X-frame if you're like a really badass extreme 3D pilot. That may come in use for you, but if you're not like a really experienced pilot, the X-frame may not be necessary just yet. But if you are going to do your upgrades, you might as well get it for now. I don't have mine at the moment though. Anyhow, it does pose a problem putting the boom mount and mounting it to the frame, but with even any basic concepts of engineering, you can figure something out. I used a screw and ground it down to where it would fit in the little slots for the skid mounts on the frame, and then I took a rakonheli boom mount that's used for the stock frame and put it as a part of my MIA skids and attach that to the boom mount and attach it to the boom. I have the extended tail boom aluminum from Microheli, the SR120 motor, that Microheli motor mount. I have a SR120 tail fin here as well. I just liked it. It just proportionately, you see there's just a lot more distance there, and for some reason this is just tail heavy without the tail boom, or not tail heavy, but the tail sags whenever it's sitting. On this one you can kind of tell it slightly angles up because of my skids. That one slightly angles down. Anyhow, full Microheli head from the auto rotation gear. As you see, you can't really auto rotate with this. You can. It does help out a little bit, I suppose, if you want to cut your throttle a couple feet in the air. You could probably do a successful auto rotation, but if you're way up there and you try to do auto rotation, you're pretty much going to crash like you would on this one. But it's fun, and it adds a little weight to the head, allowing me to put my center of gravity back where it belongs. Also, that's another thing, you need the 550 milliamp battery to counterweight the extended boom with the SR120 motor. Of course, I have the Microheli blades. I also have the brushless package. It's the Steve ESC with HP05 motor. You can barely see it in there, but it's in there. The CO5, alright, this is where we really got to talk. The CO5 is not much of a major upgrade compared to the stock motor on the regular Mcpx. With that being said, the CO5 has got plenty of power to pretty much do whatever you need it to. I went ahead and got the HP05, which is like a, I guess you could say, a medium upgrade for brushless. You can get more power for brushless motors, but you'll never actually use the full power of a more powerful brushless motor because the head speed becomes so ridiculous to where this little body and that little motor, even the SR120, can't really handle it. So what I found was, using the HP05, I had to dumb down my DX6i settings a little bit, put my throttle at 80%, and when I'm in 3D mode, my throttle is maxed out at 85%, which allows for no vibrations or the helicopter to act kind of funny. When I had everything at 100% and I went full 3D, it kind of like vibrated and did this number, and it was really hard to maintain stability. But once I dumbed down the settings, that seemed to fix that problem. It's still, even with it running at about 80% power, still probably 2 times more powerful than this helicopter. With all these upgrades, it weighs about 10 to 12 grams more than a stock Mcpx, but I promise you that added weight does not affect it at all. Like, if anything, I would add more weight to this thing because it's so powerful compared to the stock. Anyhow, I will probably upload a flight video here later on. You guys have probably seen multitudes of brushless in the SR videos to know that it works fine. The tail holds ridiculously well. The only thing I would say is if you do get the extended tail with the SR120 motor, do pay attention to your center of gravity. You need to be able to hold it around at the head and it still sits and not lean one way or the other. Anyhow, this is my Mcpx, if that's what you still want to call it. The only mods I did was, even with X swash plate, I went ahead and put the little grommets where the servos and the push rods connect to the swash plate. I even did it on the head as well. I know you can't really tell with my iPhone camera, but they are there, and it allows for minimal slop in the blades whenever they're spinning at high RPMs. If you notice on the Mcpx, I did the same thing on this one, but the swash is just not nearly as good as the Microheli. There's a lot of slop there compared to here. But anyhow, this is the Mcpx. I can't think of anything else I can do to this thing to make it a better helicopter. It flies beautifully. It's smooth. The spool up is just as smooth as it can be. There is no vibrations. With the skids I have here, the little grommets at the bottom, that kind of allows for a softer landing, because with the higher head speed you do tend to go up, and I'm talking this thing is ridiculously more powerful than the stock Mcpx. I cannot stress that enough. If you're a beginner heli pilot messing around in 3D, I highly recommend you spend a lot of time flying your stock Mcpx. Maybe add a SR120 tail motor once you get a little better, but I highly recommend you put a lot of time on your stock Mcpx before you go brushless. You probably won't even know what to do with yourself at first whenever you go full 3D with that thing. Anyhow, this is it. I got the extreme canopy here, and I try to do my best at putting the decals on it. You can see it's not the most perfect job. The only other thing I did was with the SR120, they want you to connect the connector back here and at the board. But what I did is I went ahead and just soldered the motor with the wires right back here to take back some weight off the tail, and I just did the solder job up here on the Mcpx. I don't even know what I'm saying. One thing to take note of is I would recommend you use the tail wires, the wires that came with SR120 tail. Whenever you're connecting it to your board, it will fit just like the regular wires from Mcpx do, but they're a little bit thicker gauge, which can handle the voltage of the 550 milliamp battery you're pushing on it. One last thing is the Plantraco prop I have here. It's quite a bit bigger than the stock Mcpx prop, and it's even bigger than this Wow Hobbies prop that you can buy from wowhobbies.com. You can see that it's clearly a lot bigger than this one, and it just handles a lot better in the wind and whatnot. I have hardly ever had any tail blowouts. Every once in a while I'll get like a 15 mile per hour wind while I'm doing like a mild 3D move, and I'll have a little bit of a tail blowout, but not anything ridiculous. Maybe just a little like that, more like a flinch or something like that. Anyhow, this is my fleet, the Mcpx, fully upgraded, if that's what you want to call it. I'll just call it my Extreme CP. Then this is the Mcpx upgraded as much as I'm going to do to it. And of course, you know my SR120. And I'm pretty much done with fixed pitch. I think I've gone ahead and upgraded my skills to where I'm pretty comfortable flying CP. So if anyone is interested in buying my Blade 120, it's for sale. Give me an offer. Just shoot me a text on YouTube, and you've probably seen all the videos on this. If you want to, you can look them up again. I have the spotlight already in this head here. The weight is counter to where the CG is perfectly on once the battery's in. Of course, the battery's not in at the moment. I have upgraded 600 milliamp batteries for it, the extended tail boom, and of course full metal with MIA tough kit. Anyhow, thanks for watching. I'm Michael Barnett.